What's up, guys? Coach Vass here. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, I appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, information is in the description to support me. If you have any feedback, please let me know. We're going to break down Thursday, July 10th. This will also repeat on Friday, July 25th. It's an ESP day on the treads, rowers, weight floor, all that fun stuff. As always, we'll talk about the 2G and then break down the 3G. For the key concept for the 2G, we're going to see treadmills have 3 blocks. Block 1 alternates between base, on incline, and flat road. Block 2 is push and base, and block 3 is all about your all out. So strength, endurance, power. So really an SEP day. On the rower, max power 100-meter all out rows in block number 3. And then on the floor, block 1, you build strength on shoulders and back. Block 2 focuses on endurance for posterior chain and core. You'll need the BOSU out for today, and then also, if you need the space, put the benches up so you have a little more floor space for it. Looking at the treadmills, we're gonna see 3 blocks, 8 minutes, 8 minutes and 15 seconds, 4 minutes and 15 seconds with a 90-second recovery between each block. Block 1 is the strength block. We're gonna alternate between 90 seconds of incline work followed by a 1-minute flat road base. Very short recoveries on those flat roads, so heart rate will probably stay elevated. The twist for this one is we wanna increase their speed on every hill because the hill will actually decrease. They're gonna start at the highest hill for the first round, and then the next round, we're gonna drop the incline by 2%. So power walkers, they're gonna start at an 8% incline or greater. Joggers and runners with their base speed at 6%. For 90 seconds, this is gonna feel like a push. So we should definitely see high green, maybe even orange by about halfway to the last 30 seconds. And then they hit that 1-minute flat road base. The next hill, we're gonna go 2% lower. So power walkers 6% or greater, but increase their walk speed. For every 1% that we adjust, it's about a 0.2-ish speed simulation. So for the power walkers, see if they could add, 0.1, 0.2 to their speed as they lower the incline by 2%. Joggers and runners, because we drop that incline by 2%, could they add maybe 0.2 to 0.3? Reason why I give it a little bit different is because obviously with a power walker, a 0.1 change definitely is substantially different compared to a runner who only adds 0.1. So gotta keep that in mind when it comes to it. The third round is gonna be a 2% incline for the joggers and runners. So hopefully they're more about 0.5 or so over their base, so it still feels like that push effort, very uncomfortable. Okay. Bikes and striders are going to alternate between a push and base gear. So 3 gear to 4 gears over base during the hill work, and then bring it back down to flat road during the flat road base. They'll finish with a flat road all out at the final 30 seconds. When we look at block 2, similar idea as they kind of ebb and flow between orange and green, but we're going to increase push intensity as the duration decreases. So they're going to see 4 rounds of a push-base combo. In round 1, push is 90 seconds, base is 1 minute. Then the push will go down to 1 minute, 45 seconds, and then finally 30 seconds. Okay, and same thing, increasing that push intensity. Power walkers, we're actually going to have them try to increase their incline every round. Joggers and runners, can we add 0.1 or more to their speed? Bikes and striders, if they can, increase RPMs and maintain their gear to help elevate their wattage output. And then they finish with that all out as well. And then finally, the third block, all about power. 3 rounds of all outs and walk recoveries. The all out will decrease, so try to increase the intensity as it gets shorter. They'll start with 1 minute with a 1-minute walk, and then 45 seconds with a 1-minute walk, and then finally 30 seconds, okay? When we look at the weight floor, blocks 1 and 2 is exclusively on the floor. Block 1, we're gonna be doing shoulders for 3 movements, then upper back for 3 movements, and then they will repeat whichever ones that they wanna do. The weight setup is 3 movements. The first 2 will be combined to make the third one. So on the first sequence, targeting the shoulders, they're gonna have neutral grip front raises, so palms are in, thumbs go up and back down, followed by lateral raises, so thumbs pointed out this way as they lift up and back down, and then they'll combine them. They'll hit a lateral raise into the front raise. All right, and that'll be 1, they'll have 4 reps there. So targeting, lateral and anterior deltoids, they could use different weights, and in fact, I would encourage it because they are gonna rest after each movement. And then when they do the combo, whatever they did for their lateral raise, it's probably a good choice for that front raise as well. And so you could do that to combine. okay? And then the next part is all about the back. We're gonna hit upper back and the back of the shoulders. They're gonna hit dumbbell low row, dumbbell high row, and then high row to low row, okay? Same idea. The second exercise targets the smaller, generally the weaker muscle group, so usually wait for that when it comes to the combo. If you have any lower back issues for the members, I would have them go right to the straps and perform it there. So they'll do the strap low row, and then rotate high row, and then high row to low row, okay? And then they repeat whichever their favorite exercises were from that circuit for the remainder of that 8-minute block. Okay. They do mention for the daily beat, like customize it to the members of what they need. Like if they need more posture work, definitely target more of the upper back exercises. If they kind of struggle with shoulder movements and they have like weak press strengths, then focus on the front of the shoulders, okay? The second block, nice and simple, 3 movements, work and rest circuit. We're gonna do Bosu bridges with the feet on the Bosu for 12 reps. Then they're gonna do a bridge hold in that same position with a dumbbell chest press. By having the feet up on the Bosu and hips elevated, it puts them at a slight incline or slight decline, which makes the chest press easier compared to flat. However, the balance does make that a challenge. So they'll probably use around the same weight that they would do for the traditional floor press. Even though the decline position makes it feel easier, they are trying to balance on that Bosu, which adds difficulty to it. And then the third movement is a single arm split stance deadlift. So just one dumbbell, whichever hand has the weight, that's the foot that's gonna step back with. Weight stays on the front leg as they pull the hips back to load up hamstrings and glutes, okay? So between the first 2 movements, they have that isometric hold of the hamstrings and glutes, so they should hopefully feel a really good stretch to make that mind-body connection on that third exercise. And then they're just gonna repeat that until you call time. Now on the weight floor, for the third block, this is where it's all about power. So we're gonna see dumbbell clean to front squat, and then a 100-meter all-out row. This is one where kind of depends on your studio layout. With my studio, it is a little cramped at the rowers with weights, especially for a clean to front squat. So I would probably have the members do that by the weight floor, knock out their 8 reps. So their rest is them walking to the rower, knock out that 100-meter all-out row, hopefully less than 30 seconds, and then they go back. The key thing here is for the squat, the clean to front squat, it's all about being explosive through that lower body. So they really drive up fast, pop those hips to make those weight fly, catch the weight, and then ride it down into a full squat and then stand up. Some people, they do struggle with that transition. So if they need to break up the movements, do the clean, catch it at that high position, widen up their stance, and then do a controlled front squat. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? And then for that all-out row, explosive. So 1-to-1 on that tempo. So we're looking for 28 to 32-ish or more on the stroke rate, 10 out of 10 on that leg drive, keeping that core braced. This is a good opportunity to practice that half stroke technique where they keep the heels planted and the seat only comes in about halfway to help load up and then explode back. So the mechanics should feel very similar to when they're doing that dumbbell clean. All right, their finisher is gonna be that clean to front squat as well. Because it's a short block, honestly, maybe 2 rounds, if that. So dumbbell row, and then they'll be hitting that finisher for the final 30 seconds. Now when we look at the 3G, we're gonna see 3 blocks on the treads, on the rowers, weight floors, 1 long block with 3 parts, okay? For the treadmills, we're gonna see 4 minutes and 15 seconds for everything. The timing is exactly the same, just the efforts change. So block 1, we're gonna see a 1-minute base climb followed by a flat road base. The next hill decreases on the incline and on the duration. So 45-second hill climb, 1-minute base, and then finish with a 30-second base climb at 2%. Same goal as the 2G, so can they increase the speed as the incline goes down? So essentially, they're gonna alternate between uncomfortable and challenging but doable. So even though that last effort is a 30-second base climb, it should still feel at least like a push. They only have 1 minute to recover before they get back to work on that next round because it's such a short recovery and non-stop work in block 1, heart rate should stay elevated throughout this whole sequence. For block number 2, same idea, but now it is about speed changes. So 1 minute push, 1 minute base, 45 push, 1 minute base, 30 push. And same thing as a 2G, can they increase the intensity as they get shorter? So higher incline for the power walkers, more speed for the joggers and runners. And then for the third block, this is the 2G's third block. So all outs and walks, 1 minute, 45, and 30 seconds. When it comes to the rower, they're gonna tackle a 200-meter row in different tempos. So block 1 is a 200-meter push row at a slow tempo. So like a strength-based row, 1 count back, 3 counts forward. So this is actually gonna put their stroke rate on the low end. We're talking like 15 to 20 strokes per minute if they do it right. And what we're looking to do is check and remember average watts every round. So once they do that 200-meter row with that stored program, they'll complete 10 squats with the Y belt or med ball. When they get back on, they go back to stored programs. When they get that set up, check out what their average watts were from that previous attempt. While their next row is going on, can they keep their instant watts, what they see on every stroke, can they keep that at or higher than what their average was last time? That will increase their average, okay? Block number 2, now it's a 1 to 2 count tempo, so probably about 24 to 28 on the stroke rate, and they're gonna see the stand-in rainbow. So like a shoulder press from one side, up and over, there's 1, come back, that's 2, 10 total reps, rinse and repeat. And then the third block, 1 to 1 tempo. So now we're back to about 28 to 32 on that stroke rate for that 200-meter push row. And they're gonna do an overhead march, alternated march in place. So weight is overhead, elbows are locked out, and then every step is 1 for 10, really focusing on core stability with the same goal of increasing the average watts every attempt they do the 200, okay? We should see a general trend of an increase to their watts, not only within the block because they're trying to do that, but as the tempo quickens up, that will allow them to use momentum to keep that energy explosiveness throughout to help increase their wattage from block to block to block. And then on the weight floor, we're gonna see the shoulder work from block 1, and then the chest press and deadlift from block 2, and the clean to front squat in block 3 as one big block. They're gonna do 2 rounds for each part. So I would highly utilize the daily beat of full, partial, and acknowledgements when it comes to the setups, since you do have 6 movements to explain. So they're gonna have the kneel-in neutral grip front raise, lateral raise, and then the combo lateral to front raise. 2 rounds, work and rest. Then bridge hold dumbbell chest press, split stance single arm deadlift for 2 rounds, and then clean to front squat, work and rest for 2 rounds. And then they just repeat their favorite exercises until the finisher. The finisher is the clean to front squat. Now, as far as recommendations of what to demonstrate and everything, full demo for the front raise, the lateral raise, and the combo. Partial demos for the bridge hold and the single arm split stance deadlift, and then a full demo for the clean to front squat. It is a lot, but hopefully if you have veteran members, they know what you need to do, and you can make those off mic assistances during their blocks. And then that's it, that's the 3G. So once again, Thursday, July 10th, Friday, July 25th. Apologize for my little guy screaming in the background. He is trying to sleep, but it's a little unsuccessful. Probably can't see with the reflection, but oh well. Boy, go to bed. That's it, coach it down.